friends. This is Gladys Ellen, and welcome to Heavenly Hugs, a podcast guided by angels. It is here I will share my personal angel stories and insight so that you too can be uplifted and blessed by these beautiful beings of light. Hi, friends and fellow Earth Angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back to my podcast. So, one of the reasons why I wanted to start the podcast was to share the knowledge and wisdom that I get through channelings with clients and students, and just awarenesses in my daily life. So before a podcast is due, every other week, I really try to think about and open up space for what the topic should be. And there were a few topics that I wrote down. And this afternoon, I was giving my dog a bath and thinking about the podcast and how I'm going to set the intentions to open up space and what should I talk about. So I have been seeing lots of animals randomly show up in my life lately. And then there were a few other topics of experiences I've been having that I want to share. So sitting there and thinking, okay, what does the world need right now? What is the most important message to put out there? So after I give my dog a bath, I like to take him for a walk, and I'm just thinking about what I'm going to talk about in my podcast. I open my door, I go outside with my dog, and all of a sudden, a turkey comes running out of the bushes and running like down a hill that I live on. And I looked at it, and I'm like, that's it. When animals speak. And of course, when I talk about the angels, we're always looking up, we're open for signs, but we also have to remember, myself included, that the earth, Mother Earth, also carries a vibrational energy of messages and guidance. And they've been so powerful for me this month in September. And I have to say, friends, I live in what probably you'd call the suburbs. It's fairly congested, and turkeys isn't something that's common in my area. So I knew as soon as I walked outside and I saw that turkey, I knew it was carrying a message. Now, I have studied the Native American culture over time. I was gifted this beautiful necklace from a Native American healer one year, probably 5 or 6 years ago when I was in Sedona, Arizona, and their connection with the earth has always excited me, drawn me in. It's always kind of fascinated with me how they look to the earth for their guidance and their messages. So I mainly work with angels, but I know when I'm missing something, animals show up in my life. So I wanted to start with how the animals recently started showing up in my life, because I had shared in my newsletter vlog how crickets and dragonflies had shown up in my life. And I had received a text message from a friend a couple weeks later, and she sent me a picture of a toad that found its way in her house. And she said she never would have thought of looking up its meaning spiritually had she not listened to my video newsletter blog. And it got me thinking, animals are another way that we can receive guidance and messages from the universe. So I have to say, as a great spiritual teacher would, I personally have been struggling this year. I've been struggling in finding roots, home, a place to settle. I've moved around a lot in the last couple years, and my soul now, within this last year, is searching for something. Personally, on my spiritual journey, my soul has been searching for something. So it's gotten me emotional. I've been sad. I've been frustrated. I've been confused. I felt blocked. Now, I have to say, I have really great spiritual teachers that I work with. I have mentors and really great friends. But I know this is a process that I have to go through. And when dragonflies started to show up in my life, like 5 at a time, dragonflies mean transformation and change. And then I started to get crickets in my house. So the first cricket that got in my house, I put a cup over it, and I was so freaked out by it because I'm not a bug person. I just put a cup over it and waited for somebody to come take care of it. And then another cricket got in the house. It came in through my kitchen. Now, this cricket found its way to my bedroom. That's on the other side of the house. It has to pass another bedroom, a bathroom, a dining room, a living room to get to my room. This cricket, I woke up in the middle of the night. Well, I woke up and it was the middle of the night, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I'm hearing this cricket so loud. So I walked towards my kitchen, and I was like, oh, it's in the kitchen. And I'm like, I'll just leave it. 5:30 in the morning, I wake up after dreaming about crickets. And I was dreaming that this woman kept putting a cricket in my car, in my house, and I'm hearing the cricket sound. And so I wake up to the cricket sound real in my house outside my bedroom. So I jump out of bed and I go listen to my door. And sure enough, this cricket was so loud outside my door. So I run back, I jump in my bed, try to figure out what I'm going to do because I didn't want to open up the door. And I'll tell you, friends, this cricket crawled its way under my door and started hopping in my room. Now, I'm freaking out. My dog doesn't know what to do. I jump out of bed, I grab a flip-flop, and I kill it. It was just an immediate reaction. And so I'm laying there and I'm saying, God, you know, if these bugs come in my house, I'm going to have to kill them. I'm just not a bug person. I don't have it in me to release them yet, but give me the strength. Give me the strength. And the message that I heard back was, it was prepared to die to deliver the message. So, of course, what do? I go to my phone, I look up the cricket, and the crickets represent joy and happiness. And it says the message is joy and happiness will soon follow. And it's a sign of good fortune. And what do? I kill joy and happiness. And I'm thinking, is this so symbolic of my life? Do I sabotage myself? And so now I'm going off and I'm thinking, yeah, there are some ways that I do that. Yeah, I totally get it. And so I'm having this conversation with myself at 5:30 in the morning as all this stuff is unraveling. So I felt bad about the cricket, but I thanked it for its message. And friends, I'll tell you, just recently, I had another chance with joy and happiness. And a cricket got in the house, and I put a cup over it, and I slid a cardboard underneath it, and I wasn't skeeved. I wasn't scared. This time I was like, I am not going to kill joy and happiness. I am going to embrace it, and I'm going to save good fortune. So sure enough, I took it outside, I released it and let it go. And I'll tell you, I wasn't as scared as I was the first time. And I'm like, that wasn't so bad. And so again, it's like the crickets kept showing up in my life to tell me joy and happiness is on the way. Be open to receive. For me as a teacher and a business owner, I think so much. And so often I'm giving messages, I'm giving guidance, I'm giving my time and my energy. And I know it's important to receive, and I have good balance with receiving in some ways, but others I don't. So I had to open my heart to let the animal medicine in my life, in my heart, and let it shift my life in so many ways. So dragonflies had shown up, transformation and change. As I pray, I ask God, show me where my next step is. Show me what I'm supposed to be doing. Why am I feeling this sadness? Why am I feeling this disconnect? And my soul is searching for something, and transformation comes up, change comes up, joy and happiness comes up. I'm like, okay, I get the messages. And then last week, I go to take my dog outside. It seems like all this stuff happens around my dog. He's definitely an angel himself. And he probably is tired of hearing me struggle and cry, so he's probably called on nature to bring me the messages. So I'm outside and I walk out there, and there were 4 cute little mourning doves eating on the grass, on the ground. And I go out. And so mourning doves are my favorite. When they fly, and go to fly away, they make this cooing sound, and it's the most beautiful song. Like, I just love having them around. And there was 4 of them, and I'm like, oh, how perfect. 4 is the angel number. And my dog didn't bother them. They didn't bother my dog, and they all just kind of coexisted. I just stood there and watched nature just in its raw form. Then, of course, 2 squirrel come running by us. They're chasing each other. And I paused for a moment. I'm like, how beautiful that I get to have this experience. I'm watching nature just unfold. Watching, this experience is kind of like an outsider looking in. So grateful for the messages and the guidance. So mourning doves represent love. They represent peace. They resonate with the heart chakra. And for me, I always feel the presence of the Holy Spirit, that divine, feminine, goddess energy when I see and hear the mourning doves. So here I am, calling my soul's calling for roots, family, home, connection, oneness. So you have to understand, like, the work that I do, I bring people together. I help them connect with their families and their loved ones. But on the other end, I'm kind of a loner. And I've been like that for a long time, but my soul is calling for this connection, this family. I have people all around me, of course, but they have their family, they have their friends. And again, it shows up in my life to really show me where I need to shift and change. So as love comes in, peace comes in, transformation, change, joy, and happiness, I'm like, okay, I get the message. I open my heart and my mind for this energy to come in. Open my heart to receive the animal medicine. And then finally, like I said, before I did this podcast, I was kind of contemplating on what I wanted to talk about. And sure enough, I go outside and there's 1 turkey. Now, if you have turkeys in your area, from what I know and what I've seen, turkeys, they travel in packs. You never really see them like singular. There's never just one. But I'll tell you, I walked and I watched this turkey walk around the property. He was by himself. And so as soon as we were done with our walk, me and my dog, I came in, I checked out what turkey totem meant, turkey energy meant, and it's all about abundance. Now, friends, I feel with all this beautiful guidance around me that something's about to shift and change. Some miracles are going to happen, and I'm going to settle into that place and be in that space that on my spiritual journey wants to be, that sense of home, that sense of family, community, support. I mean, there's so many avenues that I'm taking to really settle into that space. And how can I not, with all these beautiful messages coming into my life? So you may not be a huge angel person, let's say. Maybe you don't really know a lot about them or what their colors are or their symbols, and that's why I like to share their messages on this podcast. But I also want to say that there's also these animal totem out there, and some of you just may be earth people. There's a lot more earth people out there that I also want to reach and connect with, who connect with animal medicine. So, or maybe you're brand new to this and you've got some random animal showing up in your life. And so what I would suggest is when you have something like that show up in your life and you're not sure what the meaning is, but you feel it carries some message, Google it. I always put in the animal that I see, and then I put the word totem. So for turkey, when I came in, I typed in turkey totem, or I'll type in mourning dove spiritual meaning. And what will happen is like a whole bunch of websites will come up. And I say give yourself some time to just read through it, take in the messages that resonate, and dump the rest. There might be one sentence and one meaning that was for you. Ask Archangel Ariel and Saint Francis. are the guides that work with animals. So when wild animals show up in my life, like the turkey, it makes me think of the Archangel Ariel. Ariel is all about soul mission. She's all about life purpose. She opens and closes doors. And the beautiful thing is, I've started, I mentioned this in my last podcast, I started a YouTube channel where I do every Sunday, I do an angel card reading for the week. And the angel card reading isn't so much premonitions for the week and like fortune, but it's really guidance and support for the week. And I'll tell you, in the last 5 weeks, Archangel Ariel has shown up 4 weeks in a row. 3 weeks in a row. And then Raziel showed up. And then this last week, Ariel showed up again with courage. And the messages that keep coming up for this last month and probably about a month and a half now, the messages that keep coming up is being courageous. Take that leap. Prosperity will follow. Look for guidance. The Archangel Shamuel seemed to be the angel theme for August, and he's all about transition and he's all about change. So there's so many of you earth angels out there, and that's caregivers, empaths, healers, light workers, all the sensitive people of the planet who are dialed into angel energy and animal energy and plant energy and flower energy. It's powerful, and it's time for us to shine our light on these areas as they've kind of been swept under the rug for a long time. And myself and so many people that I'm working with have a calling, whether it's a book to write, whether it's to take a journey and start a venture and a new job, to serve people in some way. It's been a common theme. So I'm not surprised that Ariel is showing up on a fairly regular basis. And then I'm also in the midst of seeing and connecting with all this animal medicine. And I feel like it's just another way that you can connect to know that you're on the right path. And I have to say, even though I get messages and guidance, even though I can channel and connect with people's souls and give them information about life purpose and connect them with their loved ones, when you're doing it for yourself, it's incredibly challenging and difficult because you really got to trust yourself, separate your ego from divine guidance. So when the angel messages come in, when the animal medicine comes in, it really is like a shove for me to say, hey, keep going. These are the things you've been asking for. And this animal medicine is coming up in your life to show you that you're on the right path. So even though more often than not, I feel a little lost in my personal life and what I'm doing, these animals are showing up to show me that they've got my back and to keep going. And for me, my faith and spirituality is top. It's number one. I really truly believe it's God and me and everybody and everything else. So I've learned to really lean on this faith and trust. So even though my soul, well, probably not necessarily my soul, I should say my human body, my physical body is feeling like it's missing something, like I'm searching for something, but I don't know what it is. This higher part of me, this higher vibration of me knows that God's got my back, that I can always have him to lean on and support, that his armies of angels are there for support. But I have to say, I'm also human. And I think it's important to be transparent. I share these things so that, I have all this knowledge and wisdom, and I get it, but I'm also human, and I do mess up, and I do struggle. And being a triple cancer, I get super emotional. So I've been learning how to navigate through these emotions, all different kinds of emotions. But through it all, I feel like this animal medicine that's shown up, these angel signs and messages that show up, is like that invisible string that's just pulling me forward. And I'll tell you, I wanted to talk about this in this podcast. So it is, let me check the date. So I'm recording this on Wednesday, September 26th. And you're going to listen to it. It's going to be available on Thursday, September 27th. And I want to share it now before the big thing happens, so that I can share whatever the big thing is, wherever I fall into, whatever it is my human body is searching for. I know my soul is guiding me to something, and there's this void. And it felt depressing at the beginning of the year. It felt sad, really, in the middle of the year. And now here I am towards the end of the year, going into the last quarter of the year, feeling ready, feeling excited because I was present through all those emotions. So maybe you're feeling a little lost. Maybe you're struggling a little bit. Maybe, people that you know, friends and family, are starting to fall away, and you're in this transitional space. Ask the Mother Earth to show up for you. Ask her to send her animals as messages and signs and guidance. Some of the tools that I use or I've used in the past for connecting with animals is, there's a book out there that I really resonate. It's a really good book. It's called Animals Speak, and it's by Ted Andrews. It's a great reference book. I don't know what happened. I had the book. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know where it went. Like I said, I've moved around a lot in the last few years. So, maybe I should get that book again. So, Animals Speak. It's a fabulous book. I have some certain books that I just keep as reference, and they're like my go-to to look things up. That is one of the books that I would suggest if animals are a thing for you and you're getting Animals Speak is great to have on hand. Google. Remember I was saying about Googling the animal. Google the animal, the name, and then add totem after it, TOTEM, or spiritual meaning of mourning doves, crickets, dragonflies, turkey, whatever's showing up into your life. You may be dreaming about animals. I have to say, now that I'm talking about these animals, the panther has been showing up for me. Now, the panther is one of my totem animals. The panther appeared to me in many avenues, not obviously physically, but in many, like through cards and messages and guidance and just my intuition alone. The panther has shown up. Now, the panther is one of my totem animals, and it sits with me on my left side. The grizzly bear is on my right. The owl is above me. And then, what's the other? The sparrow. The sparrow was another animal that came to me in a vision when I was doing a meditation. And the sparrow's message is, it's small yet powerful. So I feel like the sparrow is always in flight, reminding me that I may be small, but I'm really powerful. So these animals have kind of unfolded, and they're part of my energy, and they're part of my protectors, but I don't think about them all the time. And so the panther's been coming up recently, and of course, what is it about? Shadow stuff. And for a lot of people, this year has been digging deep, going within, doing the inner work, clearing out the shadow stuff, because I'm telling you, friends, big things are happening for those that are walking in the light. God's got something big for us, and it really is to shine our light in the world. There is this divine feminine movement, and it doesn't mean girl energy. It's a divine feminine energy. It's the energy of creativity and manifesting and joy and play, and it's feelings energy. So men and women alike are embodying this feminine energy that's rising up. And of course, the earth, the animals of the earth really are connected to Mother Earth. So of course she would send her creatures of the planet to deliver messages. So if you can see them from that perspective, it really does open up a whole nother world. And then the final tool that I use is there is a Oracle card deck by Stephen Farmer, and it's called Power Animals. I think it's like Power Animals Oracle. Now, I don't have the physical deck. I have the app on my phone. And every once in a while, go in and I'll just connect with an animal. I'll just say, okay, what power animal wants to connect with me? So it's another tool that you can use to get familiar with the planet's creatures of the earth and get familiar with their messages and what their medicine is and what messages they're delivering for you. So that was exciting. I mean, when I walked out of my door today and I saw that turkey like run across my path, I'm like, yes, that's it. You know, sometimes I think like, well, we're supposed to be talking about angels, but you know what? It's all part of it. There is no separation. And again, the fact that Angel Ariel's been showing up over and over and over again, and she works with wild animals. Ariel works with people. She's a guardian angel who works with people who work for animals. So maybe people who are veterinarians or assistants, people who are working with shelter animals, people who are working with rescue, anything that's got to do with animals of the planet, people that are working in the pet stores and connecting to the animal vibration. Ariel is one of your guides. She's one of your angels, and she's there with Saint Francis, and they're working with you because really, what does Saint Francis embody? He embodies the energy of peace. And I'll tell you, my little nugget, my little dog, he is the embodiment of peace and unconditional love for me. He is this proof that there's this beautiful, gentle energy out there. So I have no doubt that they brought him into my life. And I have to say, my dog, I have a friend who went to Assisi, and she brought home a St. Francis medal for me, and I put it on my dog, and he's had it for, oh God, quite a few years now. And so he jingles around, and St. Francis is along with him. But if I'm worried about him, or, you know, I'm concerned, he's kind of got allergies right now and he's been a little sleepy, I just ask Archangel Ariel and St. Francis to watch over him. Just keep him safe. Let me know what I need to know about him. What do I need to do for him? And a lot of times it's love and hugs. A lot of times it's snuggles. So friends, I enjoyed sharing this experience with you. I enjoyed sharing my journey with the animal medicine, and I encourage you to be on the lookout. You know, if you got animals popping up in your life, go and check out what the messages are. It may be exactly what you need. And again, this concludes another podcast. I thank you for listening. As I talk and you're listening to these podcasts, if you have any topics that you're curious about, anything that you'd like to know about, feel free to send me a message. Connect with me on social media, my Heavenly Hugs Facebook page, and my Gladys Ellen Instagram page is where I share the weekly oracle card readings. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel which is Heavenly Hugs, and yeah, you'll get a notification every week, every Sunday. I think it's a great way to start the week, and I love sharing with you. I love hearing your guidance. I love to hear how the angels in the universe are showing up in your life. So, you know, send me a comment, send me a message, share with me what's going on. I am in the process of redesigning my website, and there's going to be a page on there where you'll be able to go and share your story for other people to look at. It's a way for me to build community and a network, so you know that you're not alone out there. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times people say to me, "You're going to think I'm crazy. You're never going to believe this." Because why? Because a lot of us live in a world where we kind of think differently, that people think we're airy-fairy or foo-fooey or crazy when we talk about these things. But I'm telling you, there's a network out there, and I'm trying to really hone in and really gather us all together so that we can be a beacon of light for the planet. So I thank you for listening, friends, and I send you love with heavenly hugs.
You've been listening to Heavenly Hugs with Gladys Ellen. Gladys invites you to join her on Facebook and Instagram, where she continues to teach and inspire. If this podcast was helpful and you would like to experience more, Gladys offers private sessions at her office, as well as over the phone and via Skype. Connect with loved ones in the afterlife. Explore past lives with past life regression therapy. Or receive clarity about your life purpose, love, relationships, prosperity, and more with spiritual intuitive sessions. Book your appointment online anytime at GladysEllen.com.